Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth tonight is Tim Henderson. Tim, how's your Sunday been?
I am doing just wonderful. How about yourself, buddy?
I am doing fantastic. Sorry, everybody, getting live a little bit late. My internet went down for a few minutes there. It's been quite windy where I'm at, so hopefully everything holds steady through the stream. Practice session is already wrapping up. 9 drivers took a time in practice. We're going to roll already into heat race number 1. We're going to have a couple heats here tonight. Brandon Jarvis, Racing Stacy on row 1. Mason Setting, Thomas Levister row 2. Matt Pridgeon going to be in row 3. All right. All 5 drivers lined up behind the pace truck this evening. We begin to roll down the front straightaway. Been a while since we've been at the USA Speedway. First time here in quite some time.
Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah, something definitely looks a little bit different. I don't know. We had the recent update in iRacing. So maybe they changed a few things. Here at the racetrack.
Were the walls always painted white?
I believe so. And if you're watching at home as a viewer and you are more well versed with USA, let us know. I think they were white all along, but I could be wrong. Pace truck peels off. Jarvis steps on the gas. We are underway in heat race number 1. Man, he shipped that thing down into turn 1. Got it kicked sideways. I like the way he entered turn 1. Racing Stacy following close behind. Gets a little loose on exit. Loses a little bit of time down the back straightaway. Mason Setting clear into 3rd. And Matt Pridgeon and Thomas Levister side by side for the 4th spot. Pridgeon's going to lot up in line behind Thomas Levister. He was able to clear him that time down the front straightaway. Back up front, Brandon Jarvis still holding that car length advantage to the 413 machine of Racing Stacy.
Mason Setting running in the 3rd position. He's wrapping all the way, getting wicked low, closer to that inside wall than everyone else. Barely touching the grass if he is.
Absolutely. I like that line, Tim. He's making some headway. Now taking a peek underneath the 413.
Yeah, he is. He's got Thomas Levister looking down there as well, trying to close in, as Levister maybe has an issue getting into the turn, battling for that 4th place position.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting, Stacy still side by side. Setting still continuing to wrap the bottom. Stacy up a couple of lengths. Stacy with the advantage into turn 1. Kind of shuts the door just a bit, but slides up the hill, and Setting has a peek underneath. Contact made between both drivers. Setting falls back to 3rd for now. But they have closed that that gap just a little bit on the 10 machine. As they get down the front straightaway, Matt Pridgeon has caught both of these drivers. He is coming with a full head of steam. Wow, Setting with kind of a power move down the back straightaway into turn 3. He goes way up the hill. Racing Stacy stays down low as close as he can to that inside wall, but move Mason Setting to the 1st spot. All of that battling, Brandon Jarvis has been able to pull out to over a 2nd advantage over the rest of these guys. Matt Pridgeon has fallen back into the clutches of the 22 of Levister. Levister down low, Pridgeon up high. White flag already in the air, though, for Braden Jarvis out front. Still holding on to that second advantage now over Mason Setting in the 110 machine. Braden wraps the bottom through 3 and 4 out of turn number 4. Braden Jarvis wins heat number 1. Mason Setting will be second. Third to Racing Stacy. Fourth to Matt Bridgen. And fifth it's going to go to Thomas Levester. Starting lineup for heat race number 2. It's going to be James Murphy and Robert Floyd on the front row. Then A.J. Hunsinger and Jared Murphy, row 2. And Tyler Bickford in row 3. Looks like we're just waiting on the 33 to grid up, and we will be under the green flag here in heat number 2. Well, so far this season, James Murphy in that number 65 machine has dominated early on. Definitely shown his strength, and I believe he's been the only winner up to this point this season in this series. So will anybody tonight be able to knock James off of that top spot? Robert Floyd in past weeks have shown speed. Of course, Jared Murphy has shown a lot of speed. A.J. Hunsinger in the 33. Tyler Bickford has had some good runs so far. We shall see. I know the League of Outlaws have been making adjustments. They ran some modified open sets. Now they're back to strictly fixed here tonight. They've been attuning and adjusting their sets the past couple of days, having practice sessions and all of that. So, Tim, get us going here to kick off Heat 2.
Alrighty, James Murphy's going to lead the Heat 2 pack as he fires off a 4. He gets a good launch over. I believe that's Robert Floyd in the 0-2. AJ sends it in, tries to complete the pass on Jared Murphy for third as he uses a bit of that grass to try and get traction. Does not. As it is James Murphy, Robert Floyd, Jared, and AJ back on attack against Jared Murphy to the inside. He looks. Jared has to stack up. They stack up. They hit. They bang. AJ takes over the third place position, and so does Bickford, looking to attack on AJ as Jared got washed up, and he's coming right back towards that back.
Already 2 laps in the books in this one, and James Murphy up to almost a 1.25 seconds advantage over the 0-2 machine of Robert Floyd. Like I said, A.J. Hunsinger moved into third, Tyler Bickford into fourth, and Jared Murphy fell back to fifth, but that was after the contact with himself and A.J. Hunsinger. But Jared has reeled Tyler Bickford back in, and he is right there ready to make a move. As I say that, A.J. Hunsinger takes a peek underneath Robert Floyd as he got loose in the center of 1 and 2 and went up the racetrack and allowed AJ to get right underneath of him and improve to position 2. Robert Floyd still going to run high. Car does not turn the way he wants to, and he loses another 2 spots. Bickford and Jared Murphy move up. Robert Floyd back to the 5th spot.
Jared did get to the inside. He gets to the inside again of Tyler Bickford. Just not enough bite off the corner. He slides back in line.
Tell you, Jared's got a fast car. He wants to get up there and challenge Bickford and AJ for that 3rd and 2nd spots. James Murphy out front now has opened up that advantage to 1.6 seconds. Now over the 2nd place driver, that's AJ Hunsinger. Single file at the moment throughout this Heat 2 field. Just 2 laps to go, though. Bickford with a good... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bigford had a good run there on the bottom through 1 and 2, Tim. I think we saw it at the same time, to be honest. So, you know, great minds think alike, as they say. A.J. Hunsinger moved up to the top part of the racetrack. I thought Bickford was going to challenge. James Murphy crosses under the white flag and barrels through 1 and 2 with a 1.5 second advantage over A.J. Hunsinger. Hunsinger has a couple of car links on Tyler Bickford, and Jared Murphy, I think, is going to challenge Bickford for that third spot through the final corner. But out front, James Murphy led the entire heat, wins heat number 2. At the line, A.J. Hunsinger second, Tyler Bickford holds on for third, Jared Murphy will be fourth, and Robert Floyd finishes fifth. All right, folks, 5 minutes go on the clock for tonight's warm-up session. These drivers will get to head out, run some more of that racetrack in, and get ready for our 40-lap feature event after the conclusion of our warm-up session. In the meantime, folks, we are going to step aside, take a quick break, and get a word from our sponsors over at Premier Racing Setups. All right, everybody, welcome back into the Buckeye Racing Network. Remember, don't forget to use code Buckeye15 for 15% off an individual setup pack over at Premier Racing Setups. Try them today. All right, our warm-up session is coming to a close here. Tyler Bigford, Braden Jarvis at the top of the leaderboard in warm-ups here. 23:77, 23:78. Neck and neck for the top time in warm-up. Then A.J. Hunsinger third with a 23:83. But we got 40 laps on deck. That's a long time around this long, I believe, half-mile racetrack here, the USA Speedway. Plenty of time for drivers to make things happen before we get to the checkered flag. Well, let's get a look here at tonight's starting lineup for our feature. Braden Jarvis and James Murphy on the front row. Mason Setting, A.J. Hunsinger, row 2. Grayson Stacy, Tyler Bigford, row 3. Matt Bridge and Jared Murphy, row 4. Thomas Levister and Robert Floyd will be rounding out the field in row number 5. Ten cars, 40 laps. It's the time of the night for our driver to watch segment, Tim. So you're going to be keeping your eye on it.
Well, there's a lot of people that you can keep your eye on. You got some obvious answers among those, but I feel like anyone can do it here tonight. So I am going to keep my eye on that 413 machine of Racing Stacy.
I like the pick, Tim. My driver to watch, I think Mr. A.J. Hunsinger is due for a solid run here tonight. I'm going to be keeping my eye on him. He starts on the outside of row number 2. Stacy, the inside of row 3. As the field catches up to the pace truck, we're going to get one more quick pace lap. And then we're going to drop the green flag on our feature. And the 110 of Setting did blink for just a moment there. His car did reappear. Have to keep an eye on that as the night rolls on. But if he lives in my neck of the woods, it is really windy here in the state of Ohio this evening. So hopefully nothing else goes on with the internet. We get through these 40 laps, bring you all the coverage of the feature here right. All right, 2x2 pace truck. Wheel peeled off this time. Braden Jarvis in control of the field. He launches as soon as the truck hits the pit lane, and we are underway, rocking and rolling for 40 laps. Jarvis with the advantage into turn 1. James Murphy all the way up on the cushion on the outside. Let's see, he does clear Hunsinger. Hunsinger is clear of the rest of the field. Our top 3 single file. Side by side is going to be the 110 of Mason Setting and the 07 of Tyler Bigford. Also the 64 of Jared Murphy. Looking to the inside of the 413 of Stacy. They do door slap each other getting into turn 1. Stacy with the momentum on the outside evens himself with the 64. The 64 on the entry of the corner moves ahead of the 413. He's going to take that spot for now. Up front. Don't look now, but James Murphy has caught the 10 machine of Braden Jarvis. He's going to be looking for a way around. Oh, Braden gets into the wall.
Contact.
And he hits.
Oh, no.
Wow, big damage to the 10 and the 65. Braden got into that concrete barrier on the inside of turn number 1. We'll try to take a peek. Slow things down. Keep an eye on that 10 and watch how close. He just keeps inching his way down. Got into the grass trying to take as much off of the corner as possible, and he clipped that concrete barrier, and he just lost control of the steering, and he makes heavy contact with James Murphy in the 65, and it was pretty much all over. Actually, car lodges underneath James Murphy there in the 65 for a short second. So both cars with pretty heavy suspension damage on the front end of their race cars will have to take a trip down into the pit area for repair, as both of those cars still sit in the pit area. That's going to give the race lead to the 33 machine of A.J. Hunsinger. One thing for sure, James Murphy, that's going to light a fire under him, and he is going to be slicing his way through the field to try to get back up there and challenge for the win here tonight. Updated top 5 is going to be A.J. Hunsinger, Tyler Bickford, Mason Setting, Jared Murphy, Matt Bridgen, Robert Floyd, Thomas Levister, and Rayson Stacy. That's your top 8. Braden Jarvis is scored 9th. James Murphy is scored 10th. Lights do go out on the pace truck. We are going to go 2 by 2. Unfortunately, Braden Jarvis and James Murphy still sitting in the pit area. All right, Tim, how about you get us going for the restart?
James Murphy is out. He is left. He's exiting turn 2. As we're going to have AJ lead the field, the rest of the field, through 3 and 4, and he can fire it when he pleases. He does. Pace truck just now getting off. Green flag in the air. AJ is into 1. Tyler all the way around the outside. He tries to make something happen. Jared looking through the middle, just taking a nice little peek at the lead there. As you have Matt Pridgeon trying to work on the 110 machine of Mason Setting. Bickford all the way around the outside. He's to the tail of our leader, A.J. Hunsinger.
Drag racing into turn number 3. Bickford on the outside, Hunsinger on the inside. Jared Murphy, I think he's going to try to make it a 3-wide battle as he's running through the middle part of the racetrack. Unable to do so there, but Tyler Bickford with great momentum out of turn 4. That's going to carry him down the front straightaway. And maybe, depending on the run he gets out of 1, will he be able to clear Hunsinger? Not quite. Hunsinger holding strong on the inside, but maybe that momentum will prevail on the outside. Let's see what happens down the front straightaway this time. Bickford going to lead the lap. He does clear AJ into turn 1. Bickford still going to continue to run the cushion. Hunsinger on the bottom.
Now he's fully clear of AJ. AJ's still going to take a peek. Just not enough, not close enough. Well, actually, he gets a run off. Now he's just peeking. Jared falling behind just slightly as AJ's getting a really good run through the middle of these turns.
That he is. He really is utilizing the bottom well. Bickford, I think, seen that, Tim. He's moved down low. Uh-oh, be careful. Hunsinger taps that concrete barrier with the front end of his race car. Looks like there's no significant damage, so he's going to continue going just fine. Jared Murphy in 3rd. Mason Setting, Matt Pridgeon right there, 4th and 5th. Jared Murphy with a great run out of turn 2 on the inside. Challenges A.J. Hunsinger for that 2nd spot. Our top 5 cars, all single file. 6 is going to go to Thomas Levister. And don't look now, James Murphy currently in the 7th spot. And in the past few laps has been the fastest car on the racetrack. So James Murphy on the hunt in that 65 machine, looking to move forward. Looks like Racing Stacy had an issue, and it's going to bring the second caution flag of our feature out. Let's see exactly what happened to that 413 machine. Looks like he was racing the 02 of Robert Floyd. Exiting turn 4, Stacy's trying to slide up the racetrack, and Floyd was there. And the 413 machine gets turned. Makes heavy contact with the outside wall. Robert Floyd gets a piece of it as well. Braden Jarvis able to make his way by cleanly, but big damage to that 413 machine. And I'll tell you what, Tim, that's going to help out that 65 of James Murphy. Just bunches the field back up, and he's going to be right there still with a shot in this one.
Yeah, it's exactly what he needed. He got what he needed. He caught his break. He's got plenty of time, just under 30 laps.
Under 30 laps and plenty of time left, and he had the fastest car on the racetrack. They're under that last green flag run.
Well, here's the thing. He's also starting P7, so he's gonna have to be perfect on a track that's really tough to pass on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I seen him utilizing the bottom under that last run. I'm going to expect more of the same here, as he was making up ground and was really quick down there. But for our top three, Tyler Bickford just got to continue to do what he's been doing. Get a good jump on the restart here. Looks like we get the 1-to-go signal, and Racing Stacy did make it out of the pit lane. He tags the field there in the 10th spot. Tyler Bickford on the inside, AJ Hunsinger on the outside. Uh-oh, looks like maybe one car blinked out. It was that 110 again. Be careful. Coming to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are back underway. Bickford, great launch on the restart. A few car lengths clear into turn 1. AJ Hunsinger had to fend off the 64 of Jared Murphy. Does so for now. Matt Pridgeon 4th, Mason Setting 5th, and there's James Murphy in that 65 machine, looking to take a few spots here on this restart if possible. James does clear up into the 5th spot. He gets 2 on the first lap of the restart. Going to be looking for another as he takes a peek beneath the 14 of Matt Pridgeon. Continue to mount of that battle, go back up front. Tyler Bickford runs the bottom. AJ Hunsinger kind of slides up the racetrack to that outside line.
Tyler, it looks like a little momentum stalled. As I say that, James able to get a good run through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they go. They're side by side. Pridgeon looking to fend off James Murphy, as we have a little stack up in front of those two with AJ and Jared.
Remember, those two got together a little bit earlier.
Here comes James. James trying to use AJ as a pick. AJ goes to the inside of Jared. James does complete the pass. Almost, yes he does, on Pridgeon. AJ slides up a little bit, maybe a little contact with him and Jared. James is now forced to the outside. Matt Pridgeon is going to look to take back that 4th place position.
All the meanwhile, AJ is trying to hold on to that 2nd spot. Jared Murphy, you're going to switch him lines. He's going to go to the inside. AJ's going to have to run the middle to the outside line and see what happens. Can Jared get good run off of the bottom part of the racetrack, and does that time. Those two are going to continue to race side by side. James is going to look to maybe make that a 3-wide battle. Meanwhile, Tyler Bickford has stretched that advantage to right about 1 second as we go by and complete lap number 17. 3 wide through 1 and 2. AJ Hunsinger, Jared Murphy, and James Murphy. James Murphy on that extreme inside line, exactly where he wants to be. Oh, and James makes contact with his brother Jared, and the left front is broken on that 64 machine, and that's going to bring our 3rd caution flag of the feature out. As they were trying to get down into turn 3, Jared Murphy and James Murphy make contact. Jared was trying to maybe run a similar line to his brother, and James was there. Jared wasn't all the way clear, and you see the damage, and the other drivers just trying to make their way around without making heavy contact with him, and it looks like everybody else does. But Jared with some pretty significant damage on that 64. Did you notice anything there, Tim?
There's just 3 guys racing hard. Maybe a little give and take could have been given, but again, these drivers do not have mirrors. They only can look out of the windshield, and they just gotta pray that nobody is there. And you gotta love the iRacing spotter sometimes.
Yeah, no kidding. It looks like Jared is going to rejoin the field in the 10th spot. Was able to get that car serviced in time before we went back to green flag racing. We get the 1 to go signal this time. Tyler Bickford, AJ Hunsinger, row 1. James Murphy, Matt Bridgen, row 2. Braden Jarvis, Thomas Levister, row 3 for the restart. They work out of turn number 2 down the long back straightaway. Tyler Bickford has gone as early as possible the past couple of restarts. What does he decide to do here? Going to do more of the same. He fires, gets a good launch, and he might bring the 65 of James Murphy with him. And does. James gets really sideways into turn 1. That pushes AJ Hunsinger way up the hill, and Braden Jarvis thought about taking a peek below that 65 machine. But for now, yellow flag being displayed. Unsure of what exactly happened. Did we see anything different or something that happened? I don't see anything. Looking through the field here as we went through turn 1, we were 3-4 wide for sure for 1 second. Really tight between Thomas Levister, Rayson Stacy, and Robert Floyd. There was some heavy contact there as the 02 machine of Robert Floyd does get turned sideways, and I think that was enough to bring the yellow flag out. There, so that contact through 1 and 2 on the restart brought out this recent yellow. Oh my, Robert Floyd with heavy damage. The whole right front spindle broke off of his race car as you see that sitting on the bodywork in the frame there in the pit area. All right, we should get the 1 to go signal again this time. And we do. Robert Floyd is going to make it out in time. All right, now Tyler Bickford, James Murphy, row 1. Bickford's got to navigate another restart and now fend off a hard-charging James Murphy in the 65. Bickford fires, gets another good launch. Does clear James, getting into turn 1. 3 wide, 4 wide for the lead. That's really tight between Bickford and Jarvis. Those were the 2 cars in the middle. James Murphy elected to go clear to the outside. There now AJ Hunsinger using the bottom. He's going to look for make it 3 wide for the lead, and Bickford pinches Hunsinger down there through 3 and 4. And James Murphy, nobody up there to impede his line, and AJ Hunsinger tags the back of Tyler Bickford getting into turn 1. Almost gets him spun around, but he was able to save it, and they're going to continue going, but that has allowed James Murphy to take the race lead. Uh-oh, the rest of the field may be in trouble now that James has gotten back to the top spot. AJ Hunsinger is looking to keep pace with the 65 and maybe try to reel him in a little bit. Tyler Bickford looks to get back up and challenge AJ Hunsinger for that second spot. Wow, Bickford on that extreme low line got a great run through the center of 3 and 4 that time. Allowed him to get beside Hunsinger down the front straightaway. Let's see what he does here in 1 and 2. Does more of the same. Gets a great run off of the bottom. Side by side into turn 3 this time, Tim.
All right. Yeah, sorry. Technical difficulties on my end.
Oh, it's okay.
My mic kept disconnecting and reconnecting, so I am back. Bickford sitting in third. He's contact made with him and AJ. The next battle in place is Brandon Jarvis and Matt Pridgeon, who is also they're reeling in Bickford for a 3-car battle for third as Pridgeon completes the pass on Jarvis.
And move him into position number 4. Jarvis back into the 5th spot. A little further back, Thomas Levister, Race, and Stacy, they're side by side for that 8th position. Robert Floyd trying to be a part of that battle as well. They're still side by side back here. Stacy down low, Levister up high. Who is going to prevail, the low line or the outside line? Stacy is clear for the moment as they work into turn 1. Back up a little further ahead. Braden Jarvis has a peek to the inside of Matt Pridgeon there in the 14. Jared Murphy has caught those 2 and is right there behind him. Oh, that is really tight as Matt Pridgeon is just running maybe a car width off of the bottom there through the corner. I'm telling you, Braden is sticking it down low. He's going to continue to challenge Pridgeon as best he can. Now he's got Jared Murphy right behind him. He can't make any mistakes or Murphy's going to take that spot from him. Quick check back up front. Bickford, he's looking to take a peek to the inside of AJ Hunsinger. AJ's hung on enough. He's only about 0.7 of a second back from James Murphy. Tyler Bickford has some good speed here in this run as well. Top 3 single file.
I tell you what, I doubted that 65 machine. I didn't think he was gonna be able to work through the field as quickly as he did, and he finds himself in the lead. He's led the last 15-ish laps, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, got, in a little bit of a mess there to start this race. Had to go into the pit lane for some extensive repair. Went back green. Wasn't quite caught all the way up to the field. Got another couple yellows, and next thing you know, here we are. James Murphy leading the way with now 9 laps to go as he crosses the line. AJ Hunsinger not letting him run away with this. As the past couple laps, he has found something on the bottom and is reeled back in a little bit of time to James up front. That gap just 0.55 of a second. So James is not out of this just yet. Great run through the bottom, that time through AJ Hunsinger. Last lap, AJ Hunsinger 24.43 to James Murphy's 24.51, and we have a yellow. Uh-oh, Jared Murphy showing was a part of this one as he was battling with the 10 machine of Braden Jarvis. They made contact through 3 and 4 on the exit of 4. Oh my goodness. That was kind of craziness. The cars were so close together, they make contact exiting 4. That actually pops Jared's nose off of the ground, and Jared kind of ramps over top of Braden in the 10. Both cars went sliding down the front straightaway. Oh my goodness, and I don't know how Thomas Levister missed Jared Murphy in the 64, but almost made massive contact with him as he was just trying to avoid. And I think Thomas did end up getting some damage into turn 1. So a couple cars will have to visit the pit area here before we go back racing. Braden Jarvis is currently in the pits. Thomas Levister in the 22, as well as that car is crab walking as he slowly works down the pit lane. Grayson Stacy visited the pit lane there as well. Well, we've seen multiple grooves of racing here tonight. We've seen drivers all the way down near the inside wall. We've seen some working at the middle part of the racetrack, and we've seen ones all the way up on the cushion. Tim, here in these closing laps, what line are you thinking might prevail the best?
I think if you're gonna win, you're gonna win it from the bottom. If AJ wants this win, he's gonna have to almost time the restart here, and either launch. He's got to launch just a little ahead of James, I think.
Absolutely, get us going here.
James is gonna wait. He fires. He gets a really good launch. About a 3-car length lead on AJ as AJ goes straight down to the bottom. He's closing the gap on the exit. James may have missed the corner a little bit, and then we have some fighting going on in the back. They're getting their elbows out. A little bit of bully ball back there as James is trying to run away as he moved up the racetrack. And AJ is sticking down to the bottom, and he is getting a massive run through the middle off the exit as well on our leader.
Mason Setting had a bit of an issue, had to jump into the pit area, so he is being scored out in the 10th position, unfortunately. I'll tell you, AJ Hunsinger is holding strong there, trying to challenge James for that top spot. Meanwhile, the battle is still raging on for a final podium position as Jared Murphy is going to take a peek underneath the 14 of Matt Bridgen. Matt did not get into turn 3 very well, and I think Jared is going to prevail on the bottom. No, Bridgen, with the momentum, is going to even himself into turn 1 this time. Tyler Bickford is right there as well, as Bickford had some hiccups on that restart.
James is starting to pull away as the leaders just ran a 24.56, as he may have just scraped the inside wall. James just now ran a 24.586. That's the same lap time as the lap previous, as AJ runs a 24.6, so they're only a 10th difference, but he is somehow closing the gap, visually speaking. It looks like it.
2 to go at the line this time. Does AJ have anything left in the tank for James Murphy? Matt Bridgen now is holding on to that 3rd spot with a few car lengths now back to Jared Murphy in 4th, Tyler Bickford in 5th, Thomas Levister in the 6th spot. Now to turn 4 this time, taking the white flag is James Murphy. 0.6 of a second advantage to AJ Hunsinger. Hunsinger ships it into turn 1 and 2, hoping for the best. James Murphy kind of diamonds the exit through 1 and 2 into 3 and 4 for the final time. James Murphy through the middle part of the racetrack, and out of turn number 4, continues the nomination with the League of Outlaws and wins tonight at the USA International Speedway. AJ Hunsinger comes home in the 2nd spot. Matt Bridgen rounds out our podium. We'll get to talk to our top 3 in a few moments. Finishing 4th tonight is Jared Murphy. 5th is going to be Tyler Bickford. 6th is Thomas Levister. 7th to Braden Jarvis. 8th to Rayson Stacy. 9th to Mason Setting. And 10th is going to go to Robert Floyd. As our top 3 makes their way onto the front straightaway here, we'll get our interview portion of the night started. Well, I'm trying to drag these fellas in for an interview. Tim, are you able to do so?
Who are we looking for here?
Matt Bridgen.
Let's see. Yeah, I can drag him up. You want me to drag him up here?
Yeah, for some reason mine would not let me, so that's why I was seeing if you could. Hey, Matt, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, man. Fighting and clawing your way to a podium spot here tonight, finishing 3rd. Man, kind of a long race here tonight, 40 laps at USA. As the one went along, how was you able to keep up the speed and fend off the late charges there from Jared Murphy and Tyler Bickford trying to get back into the top 3?
Well, I knew it was going to be tough to at least get a podium here. I was just shooting for a top 5 after the week I had last week, but I was mainly just trying to stay low, keep my nose clean again, and unfortunate what happened with Jared and James, but that allowed me to move up a spot, and I can't remember that moved me up to 4th. I can't remember what happened. I'd have to watch the replay for me to get into 3rd. I don't remember who. I think Tyler Bickford may have had a bad restart there or something, and I got around him. And then I looked down at my relatives, seeing Jared was coming, so I knew I had to do something. And I heard him get up. I started over driving it, and then I heard him get under me, and then I tried going to the slider line. I knew that would eat up my tires, but I was just doing whatever it took to keep Jared behind me, and luckily it did. So I'm pretty pleased with the night's result.
Absolutely. Tim, do you have anything to ask Matt?
Yeah, Matt, how difficult was it around this track? It looked like the bottom was dominant here. How difficult was it to get through that, especially while it was slick?
You just had to be real easy on the throttle. Treat the gas pedal like there was an egg underneath it, basically. And yeah, like I said, it's super tough to pass, and you just kind of hope the guy in front of you makes a mistake, or you find some grip that they don't know about. So that was pretty much the game tonight.
For sure, Matt. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank?
I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting it. I'd like to thank AJ for putting this series on. James and Jared for making these setups. They're real fun to drive, pretty racy too. Um, my real life and iRacing sponsor Talking Dirt on Facebook with Ryan Williams. So that'll be pretty much it.
All right, Matt. Well, again, good run tonight, coming home in a third spot. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good one.
You as well. And Tim, you'll have to drag him back as I don't. My Discord must be glitched
I got
out.
it.
10-4. All right, that was Mr. Matt Bridgen. And we'll get to talk to our second place finisher tonight, AJ Hunsinger. Tim, if you would. AJ, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. What an eventful night. Had a great run in the feature. Battled. It seemed like everybody you were racing against got up there with a shot there in the closing laps, trying to get and catch the 65 of James Murphy, who's had a dominant season so far. Man, it looked like you were just putting it all out there tonight.
Yeah, it was a good race. I didn't think this track would put on a very good race, but we did a couple practice races and it was a lot better than I thought. The bottom tonight worked really well, and that's something that didn't work in the practice races that well. But we made some changes to the track state and we kind of kept guys off the bottom in practice, so that might have helped out a little bit there. But yeah, it was a blast. Racing with both Murphys and Bickford there, and had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It sure looked like a lot of fun with you fellas battling the way you did all night. Tim, do you have anything to ask AJ?
Yeah, AJ. How difficult was it to set up passes, and tell us about how difficult it is to hold people off with no mirror.
Yeah, you just gotta listen as much as you can. Sometimes that doesn't even help. It's sometimes people are, coming off the corner, you're on the bottom. Sometimes they just surprise you, they're on the outside of you all of a sudden. But for the most part, you have a pretty good general idea on where they're at when they are really close. But yeah, setting up the passes. Ideally, you'd want to set them up coming off the corner exit because of how long the straightaways are. But you couldn't really do that on bottom, and I felt like that's where I was faster at was on the bottom, and I could catch like even sometimes there with James, I was catching him in the center, and by corner exit he just had all that momentum off the. He ran a little higher than I did. He'd run the bottom a little bit there too, but um, I made a couple passes on corner entry surprisingly in the beginning of the race. But yeah, in order to pass like a guy like James, I don't. It was really difficult. If you were on the top going in, you were losing too much. Like you would still have a run off the straightaway, but you would have lost too much in the corners to be anywhere near them on corner exit. So
Absolutely, AJ. Great run tonight. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank?
yeah, you guys for the broadcast. I appreciate you guys doing this every week. Everybody at the League of Outlaws, we have a great group of guys. So thanks to everybody that keeps showing up every week. I know a couple of them couldn't make it tonight, but for the most part, everybody shows up. We have a good time and put on some good racing, and we have a lot of fun. And
Absolutely.
I'd like to say hi to Michelle real quick too if she's watching.
All right, AJ. Well, again, fantastic run here tonight. We'll let you celebrate that second place finish.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And Tim, if you would do the honors again.
I keep forgetting.
It's all good. Now we'll bring in our winner, James Murphy, tonight. Hey, James, it's Siler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, James. First and foremost, heck of a run tonight. It did not come easy. Right off of the bat in the feature, got caught up in an accident there. Had to visit the pit lane for some extensive repair. Got back out. Was a little bit behind the field. But you just kept your head down, got a couple yellows, things bunched back up, and you just kept picking them off one by one, made it to the lead, and just never looked back. From your perspective, what was the most difficult part of tonight?
It's for sure passing. This track, it's wide and it's just hard to complete a pass without using the mud. It's that and with no mirrors and stuff, it's just hard to judge where people's at, and not everybody's got the awareness that some people have, but we was able to get a few lucky cautions in there and bunch it back up, and I was able to work pretty much the entire track to pass them.
Yeah, absolutely. We seen you down low near the inside wall, up high on the cushion. As you worked through the run, where did you like to be, down low or up high?
I felt more comfortable on the top, but I felt like the bottom was the place to be, so that's what I committed to.
Absolutely, and it worked out for you here tonight. Tim, do you have anything to ask James?
Yeah, James. You were talking about the no mirrors. I think that's the first time you and your brother really uh, got together. Can you tell us about that, and then can you also tell us about how or what you did to set up the pass to get around these guys?
Yeah, I probably put in a hole that I shouldn't have, and it caused an wreck, and I feel bad for that. But you just had to take what they gave you. If they went one line, I'd go to another one, try and pass them, get a better run here or there, and just kind of had to work them for a couple laps, and they're eventually going to give you something. So you just had to keep at it.
Absolutely, and what a win here tonight. Before we let you go, who do you need to thank?
Thank y'all for the awesome broadcast. Everybody with League of Outlaws, AJ Hunsinger for the rap and talking dirt.
All right, James, again, big congratulations on this win here tonight at USA Speedway. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank y'all.
All right, that will conclude our interview portion of tonight. Tim, as we start to wrap things up here, any takeaways that you have?
Yeah, I learned not to bet on James Murphy. That's what I learned today.
Absolutely, he got it done tonight when it mattered, but it didn't come easy at all as he had to work his way back up through the field here tonight. But what a race. Again, big shout out to the admins over at League of Outlaws for having us call the races each and every week right here on the Buckeye Racing Network. Can't say enough about these guys. Always enjoy it. Upcoming for us on the Buckeye Racing Network, I don't believe we'll be live until next Sunday night with the next race of their series. So, again, we'll be live with that one about 9:15 Eastern Time, so come on out and be a part of that with us. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night, everybody.